Happy Friday, guys, and welcome in to Puck Time on WagerTalk TV. I am Andrew. I have Carmine and the Prez with me today, breaking down 3 games, a solo breakdown with Prez, best bets at the end, and much, much more. Guys, quick reminder, the promo code ACCESS3, take $20 off a 3-day pass applicable to everybody at WagerTalk.com. We have the Hawks, Knights, Sabres, Devils, Wild, and the Capitals going head-to-head, going right to Carmine for his thoughts on the Blackhawks and Vegas Golden Knights. Any shot here for an upset, Carm, or the Vegas Golden Knights just keep on rolling?
Well, Carm
Sorry.
means to say.
Well, if you go, I'm unmuted. You guys can hear me. There's a delay in the words coming out of my mouth. Anyways, just like there was a delay in finding any wins last night or yesterday in general. But with that
Carm's
said,
in a mood.
listen, nobody thought, Lawrence, quiet, please. Nobody thought, we lost, what, 2 teams yesterday that were unbeaten. Both go down. Pittsburgh knocks off Colorado. Anaheim, 2 late goals in the last 2 minutes of that game in Boston, and then win it in OT. So there's last man standing is the Vegas Golden Knights, Stanley Cup winners. They're going to lose one of these next 2 games, I feel, whether it comes tonight or whether it comes tomorrow night in LA. It's going to be one of those ones, but it's kind of hard to want to take the Chicago Blackhawks because you have to see something from the Hawks in order to take them. So it's one of those, it literally is one of those plays that you're going to take Vegas, but how do you take, or you just pass on the game because you look at the odds of this game. And if you head over to the WagerTalk live lines, I think it's in excess of 400 at some books. No, it's actually, where is it here? Minus 330. The total's at 6, and you can actually make a case for the total here because the Golden Knights are playing extremely well. It's supposed to be Aiden Hill in goal tonight, and then Logan Thompson in goal tomorrow night in LA. But you look at the regulation line, and even that is unplayable. It's like minus 190 to win within 16 minutes. You look at you sort of look at the spread, and the spread's at the puck line's at 1.5 minus 25. Again, it's I'm not even sure I want to take that. The one way I'm looking at this game, Andrew, is doing the Buster special, where you just you figure the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win and they're going to take control of this game early on. You take them in the first period and you take them on the handicap. You can get the Vegas Golden Knights right now at -1, plus 110 on the first period handicap. You're literally turning a minus 330 favorite into a plus 110 favorite, but of course they need to have the lead at the end of the first period, and they're just playing extremely well right now. That I think they get it done. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm just going to take the first period, take the plus money, and hope that the Knights win tonight, so I can look to fade them tomorrow night. Prez, what are your thoughts on this game?
Carmine, firstly, guys, thanks for having me. I mean, look, I'm going to, full disclosure, I'm not betting this game at all. If I had to bet it, I would take under the total. Last night, we saw Anaheim upset the undefeated Boston Bruins. They were a plus 230, give or take, dog. Here we have Chicago, and Anaheim was on the road, and they went into Boston, and they beat Boston. I looked at that, after that game ended, I looked at this game, and I thought, well, here we go. This is the same exact type of a spot. Undefeated team of Vegas is not going 82-0. Vegas is going to have a regression. And it's hard to get up for a team like Chicago. And I can tell you this, I play hockey. Now, I know it's beer league hockey and I'm crappy. I get that. But we are one of the best teams in our division. And when we do play the piece of shit teams, we really do not play our best. And that is just an absolute fact. And you see that throughout all sports. There's a reason Boston lost to Anaheim last night. Look, if I had to pick a side here, I would take a flyer on the Blackhawks personally. But I like the under in this game, and I like the under in most Vegas games. They started the year, I think, 4-0 to the under. They have gone over of late. But this is a team to me that is going to shut teams down on a whole. I just think it's a bad spot for Vegas. I think Chicago knows what happened in Boston. I think Chicago is feeling, I wouldn't say good about themselves, but they've got this Chicago team's got nothing to lose. This Chicago team is going to pull upsets along the way. I like the under here. I'm not betting it. And if I had to take a side, which I don't, I would take Chicago. Guys, before we move on, I got to show you something. Look at this shirt.
I love it. Wager merch.
It's got the PuckTime logo right here. 0 pucks given.
Wouldn't that be a hoodie?
A hoodie. God, Carm, what are you freaking channeling, Teddy? Anyway, you guys can get this exact hoodie, which is great quality and fits amazing, at WagerMerch.com. That's WagerMerch.com. We've sold a bunch of PuckTime shirts already. You've got quite the loyal following, you two. And I love the sweater. 0 pucks given. It's genius. I don't know who came up with that quote, but thank you for that. And please, guys, check out WagerMerch.com. You can find all slogans. You can find poker slogans, sports slogans, and plus swag from all the WagerTalk shows, hustle shirts, etc. So check that out,
Prez,
WagerMerch.com.
I'll be ordering some poker stuff for my brother for Christmas. So I'm going to do that. Actually, I think I'll probably do that this weekend. My brother's a huge poker fan. I know you are as well, and I think he'll appreciate that. So I'll be buying this weekend for sure.
I just booked my poker trip, Andrew. I'm heading down to Vegas December 4th to the 13th. I'm playing in the 1600 Mystery Bounty and the WPT at the Win, and then I'm playing in the 1100. So it's going to be awesome, man. Sorry, Carm.
Sweet. Carm?
Is Puck Time or Poker Time? I'm not sure. Which show are we doing today? Poker Time or Puck Time? I think it's Puck Time. Andrew,
are you trying to be funny? Like, is that a joke?
Andrew,
is this a comedy show, Andrew,
and,
or is this an information
I
show?
woke up. Listen, I woke up and chose violence, Lawrence. So, Prez, just fill in the guest role. Andrew, this game goes at 6:00 today, which is obviously 3:00 Vegas time. It's Nevada Day is, I think, officially tomorrow is Nevada Day, October 28th, but they're celebrating it today in Vegas, 3:00 game. Do you think that there's, with all the festivities and everything else that is going on, that this is a distraction to the undefeated Vegas team, or no?
I think it can be. Look, Prez talked about it. You talked about it. These are professional athletes. They get paid a lot of money to do what they do, but they're also creatures of habit and creatures of routine. And as much as they won't like to admit it, as Prez talked about in his beer league hockey, you play down to your opponent. No matter what league you're playing in, you show up. Look, I play basketball and volleyball each week. I check the schedule and I check the standings to see what ranking my opponent is in, and I go into the game feeling either really serious or less serious, depending on how my opponent is. You know, every single time. Look, I agree with what Prez said for the most part about Vegas being an under team. The reason why today I like the over is that I don't really have the stones to bet the Chicago Blackhawks on the money line. I don't even want to bet them plus 1.5. I just think that if this is a spot that anyone at all could think could benefit Chicago in the slightest, it means they get a few goals. But I certainly think Chicago is going to allow some goals as well. They rank 31st in the entire league as far as shots on goal allowed. And with the amount of snipers, the amount of goal scorers on that Vegas Golden Knight roster, if they give up as many shots, Carm, that they've been giving up, I think it's going to be a tough day for Chicago. So I like the over 6 here. You know, you mentioning that just makes me like it even more with that early start, some distraction factor. So I'm going to take the over 6. And we've talked about that Anaheim-Boston upset quite a bit. And you look at it, that game went over. And, you know, Anaheim barely hung on to that lead. They won by just 1 goal, 4-3. So if I like Chicago at all to do anything, I like the over here because I do think Vegas will contribute. Really quick, Jack Eichel over on his shots on goal and Seth Jones under on his shots on goal. Seth Jones has gone under 2.5 shots on goal in every single game this season. So something worth mentioning. something worth betting if you're interested in some shots on goal props.
My only concern, Andrew, with the total in this game, and I get it's at 6. We're going to start to see those 6.5s for the most part. A lot of the games start to gravitate back to 6s as we're seeing a lot of unders. Is that you look at Chicago and they're just not scoring. I think 3 goals in their last 3 games. They've gone under the total in 6 of 7 games thus far. The only game that they didn't go under the total was against the Vegas Golden Knights in Chicago, where Vegas beat them 5-3. So Vegas got a really good defense. They're playing extremely well. When a team can't score, that's the only fear I have, is one of those Vegas gets it done, wins 4-1, does exactly what they're supposed to do as a minus 330 favorite, covers the puck line, and probably covers their, I'm surprised you're not taking this, covers their team total, Andrew, because you're a team total guy and you're very good at it. Unless you do have the team total and you're just not telling us because it's a client play. So maybe we should get on to the next game.
Speaking of which, over to you, Prez, for the next one. We have the New Jersey Devils and Carmine's Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo, they're getting back on track, finding their scoring touch. Their goal scorers are really getting it going. How about a guy like Jeff Skinner? Multiple goals in several straight games here. They're plus 165, though, in this matchup. Devils minus 190. What are your thoughts, Prez?
Andrew, I like the over in this game. I know it's 7, and that's a big number, but New Jersey, they're 6-0 now to the over. 6-0 to the over, and although Buffalo is 2-5 to the over, I think that gives us some opportunity here because this Buffalo team is not going to go 40% to the over all year. This is a team that will play to the over on a regular basis. I took the over a couple of nights ago with Ottawa. And it was 6-4 game, 10 points scored. And I'm just going to go straight back to the over here. I mean, you got Washington 6-4 against New Jersey 5-2 against some crappy team in some crappy place. Then New Jersey 5-4 over the Islanders. Florida, 4-3 game. It's just constant scoring, and it makes sense. New Jersey is one of those teams that's got a absolute ton of speed, but they're not heavy anywhere. I don't think they have the balance that is needed to go to the Stanley Cup, but they are a team that is for sure up and coming, as we saw last year, and a team that's going to give teams fits in the regular season. But I don't think this team has the heavy defense men to move people out front of the net. I think there's screening opportunities. Tage Thompson is a big guy. I think the New Jersey defense is slow. I think their forwards are fast. They will play to the over. And I think it's a similar structure in Buffalo. I think these teams mirror each other in style of play. There's going to be a ton of speed on the ice and power plays as well. When there's speed on the ice, that always results in power plays. I can tell you as an old guy who plays against young guys, the only way to get the speed down is with a good old-fashioned hook. So there's going to be power plays in this game. I like over the total of 7. And also, did I mention wager merch? Look at this shirt, guys. I got miserable Carm on one side and not miserable Andrew on the other side. I've never worn your faces on my body before, gentlemen, but I bought it at wagermerch.com.
I think you just went up from like maybe a 6 to a 6.5 with that shirt on, Prez. You're looking good, brother. I like that shirt quite a bit on you.
Dude, I'm 54. Dan, look at that. 54.
Look, see, I got a smile out of Carm. There we go. You know what? Speaking of miserable.
Look at that arm.
Yeah, I wish I had big arms like that.
You want to see I'm getting a tattoo next week. I'm going to show you what it is when you come back to me.
Okay. Prez, I'm in a great mood today. It's Friday. You're absolutely cracking me up right now, but we got to keep things going. I want to mention, what is that?
That's the tattoo I'm getting next week.
Okay. Where are you getting it?
Anybody know what tattoo that is? Let me know in the comment section. Sorry, Andrew. I'm hijacking.
I lost a 5%
Hijacking.
play last night. And it's important for me to mention that. I lost my 5%. It was Carolina in regulation. They gave up. They had about 45 shots on goal, guys, and they end up winning in overtime. It's frustrating. For me, I kind of feel like setting a rule for myself on 4 and 5% plays, laying that juice and not worrying about regulation. Carm, I knew the second that game went to overtime, Carolina was going to win it, and I'm a loser with the regulation bet. It's tough, man. It's tough, but I went 2-2 overall with clients, but I want to put it out there into the world so people don't say anything. I did lose my 5%. We'll bounce back today. But Carm, what are your thoughts, Devils and your Sabres?
Yeah, Andrew, it's frustrating. First of all, as far as that game goes, it seems like um, sometimes the right side just doesn't get there. Like they outshot them 45-26, but apparently Joey Decord is the Vezina Trophy candidate this year. He put on a great performance, and yeah, you're right. Once they tied it up, you knew they were going to win it in OT. It's a little crazy. I was a little upset because I was watching the Bills game I was out with some friends while also watching the Carolina game, and at the end of the game, Jordan Phillips of the Bills. If you guys watched the game and you got pissed off about getting backdoor covered in that Bills game, Jordan Phillips, 4th down, ties up Baker Mayfield. All he's got to do is everyone's there. It's just wait for the ref to blow the whistle. And instead, he pulls him down by his face mask, 15-yard penalty, 1st down. They go down, obviously, and get the covering touchdown. Anyways, just pissed me right off. Anyways, getting back to this game here. Stat Daddy Ralph Michaels gave me this one this morning just before the show because this totals at 7. And we've talked about the dangers of going over 7, even with, like, let's say, a team like New Jersey who've gone over 6.5 in every one of their games. But there's a bunch of 4-3 games there. Is you look at the numbers, the first since 2006 totals of 7.
Wow.
The first 42 games of the season are 2-20-7, 81.9% to the over. I'm going to guess those two that went over the total involve the Edmonton Oilers in all likelihood, but I'll have to find that out later. And then from game 43 onwards, the under is still ahead at 40, 41, and 35. So I get it in the sense of we see 7, we see teams that can score, and you think this is going to go over 7, but you now need 8. 7 gets you a push, and 4-3 score lines are very popular this year in the NHL. So I can see the why that stat is beneficial. The Sabres have gone under the total in 5 of 7 games thus far this season, playing well defensively. And they've got I think they've got a good defensive corps. Not a great defensive one, but they're building a team in Buffalo. They back check. And you got to figure the Devils at some point figure it out at home. They haven't. Losing to that game to Washington, I just could not believe what I was seeing. The Capitals looked like a Stanley Cup contender in New Jersey. And I think that was more New Jersey just underperforming than the Capitals overperforming. So with that said, I don't think this gets over the total. I'm playing under. I'm going with the Stat Daddy numbers on this one.
That's unbelievable. Those numbers are hard hitting. And I mean, it goes to show that every half a goal, every goal matters in the NHL. And Carm, I know on some of the slower days in the NHL last year on PuckTime, you and I would go through exact score numbers. I wonder how many times, if you bet exact score 4-3 on each side, there's a lot of pushes when you see a 7. You talked about how common of a score line that is. Probably a decent payout if you bet exact score 4-3 there. Look, I gave out this wager on Monday, I believe it was, or a couple days ago, and it didn't hit. But I'm going to go right back to it. And this one, I think it's actually a lot more applicable. So we're trying to find a way to bet on goals in this game with two teams that have plenty of skill. Timo Meyer's getting it going. Jack Hughes is on an incredible pace. Tyler Toffoli is shooting the puck at an alarming rate. And I mentioned Jeff Skinner, Tage Thompson. Those guys are playing very well now for Buffalo. So how do I approach this with a total at 7? Most books offer this, guys. I'm going to try and give it out again, and we'll cash this time. both teams to score in the first period is plus 110. So you look at things right now, you're getting a massive, massive price on over 1.5 goals. You know, you're almost paying minus 200 to get that price, minus 185, 190. So if I give you both teams to score in the first period, you're getting plus 110. I feel like that's a pretty good price to look at. And I'm going to be betting on that one because I do think both teams will get off to a fast start. And if you notice, a lot of the time these teams do get off to fast starts and the sevens end up losing to the over, they slow down afterwards. There aren't really late goals. There's usually early goals. All right, we are going to go to a solo breakdown. This is just Prez's game. Myself and Carmine will not be commenting on this one, but Prez, the mic is yours. What do you have for us today for your breakdown?
Well, Andrew, thank you kindly. Firstly, that chart from Ralph was incredible. I appreciate you getting that, Carm. 2 over 7s in the first half of the season since 2006. Only two, and one of them was this week. Wow. Okay, so my game tonight is the Arizona Coyotes plus 114 against the LA Kings. And guys, I wanted to look. We are used to betting against Arizona. We are used to considering this team to be a piece of crap. It's been decades of shit coming out of Arizona. And I get it. And it does take a while for us to start rethinking the way we look at hockey teams. Now, I am not suggesting that Arizona is some kind of juggernaut. They are not. But they are way better than we anticipated coming into this season, and they're better than they were last year and the year before, et cetera, et cetera. This Arizona team is sneaky. This Arizona team is there will be moments this season where they will be hovering around playoff contention. I'm not suggesting that they're going to make the playoffs, but this is not the Montreal Canadiens. Like that, Andrew? That was for you. They're
in a playoff spot right now.
So's Arizona. And Vancouver. Anyway, this Arizona team has got so much speed. It is unbelievable. I watched the game against the LA Kings a few nights ago, and we bet the Kings in that spot. And what I realized and what I'm going to be looking for with Arizona moving forward is they are a team that's hard to match up against if you're a heavy team. So a team like Dallas is going to struggle to play Arizona. A team like the Kings are going to struggle to play Arizona. This Arizona team is so fast, it's unbelievable. And their power play, although they're not scoring goals at 100 miles an hour yet, I mean, their power play had so many opportunities last game against the Kings. It was crazy. This Kings team has one of the slowest defensive cores in all of hockey and a slow forward group that has the ability to score goals. When they play a team full of speed, it's just not a great matchup for them. Arizona lost last game. This is a back-to-back scenario. Now they're coming back into Arizona. I get this Arizona team at a plus 115 dog. I'm going to take them, Andrew. I mean, it's not like they're not winning. Before their 6-3 loss to the Kings, they had won 2 games in a row. They're 3-3 on the season. I think Arizona is the right play tonight. I like this Arizona team, period. I actually think their uniforms stink, but I really do enjoy watching them play.
They're definitely a lot better than they were last year and the year before that and the year before that. It's been a slow rebuild, but they're looking a lot more fun. Guys, that's Lawrence Presman, of course. Prez does hockey, football, basketball as well. We all are at WagerTalk.com. You can use the promo code ACCESS3 to take $20 off a 3-day pass. Also, Prez20, take $20 off of Prez's package over at WagerTalk.com.
And I'd like to add something, Andrew. I've heated up in hockey. I went 2-1 last night. My only loss was also on the Canes game in regulation, which was flat out the right call. Wrong ending, but right call. I'm now on a 6-1 run in hockey. I'm up units on the season, and I have 2 tonight. So guys, check that out. Use that promo code. What is the promo code again? I want to give it out on WTT as well.
Prez
Prez
20.
20.
I'm gonna remember that. Prez 20. I'm gonna use
Carm,
it
I
myself.
gotta move things on here to the last game. The Capitals and Wild here. The Wild continue to go over the total. I mentioned to you earlier in the year, I feel like the Wild are turning from an under team into an over team. But now they play a Washington Capitals team that, besides 1 or 2 games, they've struggled to create goal-scoring chances. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you have a play side or total here, Capitals and Wild?
Andrew, this is a weird a weird start to the season for the Minnesota Wild. I didn't expect this start from the season from them. I thought the way they looked last year towards the tail end of the season, like even in preseason, and I don't take much stock in it. They still when they had their starters in there, they looked good, but they haven't looked good in at least over the last 7 or 8 days. Their only win is against the Edmonton Oilers, who everyone is just beating up on the Oilers right now. So that's not even a signature win. But they lose to the Flyers last night, and they're never really in that game as well too. Although give the Flyers credit, they're playing some good hockey at the beginning of the season. We'll see if that regression sets in like it has for some other teams like Ottawa and Detroit. But they lose in Columbus, or they lose to Columbus at home, where they allowed, I think it was like 50 plus shots on goal. When you're allowing 50 plus shots on goal at home, it's never a good thing for them. So they hit the road. We'll see how they do, but it wasn't a good one last night. And now they're on the second of a back to back, the tail end of a back to back, and they're playing a Washington team who, quite frankly, if you look at their last 3 games, haven't been bad. Andrew, you look at at their games, their last 3 games. Okay, they go into New Jersey and they win that game. The game prior to that, they lose 4-1 to the Leafs, despite outshooting the Leafs. I think they had like 40
37
plus
to
shots on
17.
goal. To 37-17. The game prior to that, they lose in OT to the Montreal Canadiens. So they're putting forth good good performances. They're just not getting there. But tonight could be the night where they get there. I would actually take them in the first period, because Minnesota has not started well in all of their games this year. I think in 7 games, they have only had the lead at the end of the first period in 1 or maybe 2 of those games. They've trailed in a majority of them. Um, so the Washington money line here is minus 120. You might catch the Wild with some tired legs in the first period before they get going. So sometimes the best way to get these ones is with a team on the second of a back to back is to try and fade them in the first period, and that's what I'm going to do here. So give me Washington minus 120, and I'll go over to you, Prez. You're
Muted.
muted.
Sorry, boys. Now you can mock me. I'm going to make this super quick. I'm with Carm 100%. Look, I think Washington's not a good hockey team. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be in the bottom 10 in the league. I don't think they have any depth anywhere. I don't think they have a superstar. Not one single superstar. I know Ovi's a superstar, but hey, so's Wayne Gretzky. And if he played in the league today, he wouldn't be a superstar. He'd just be an old, decrepit man with low-hanging fruit. They don't have anybody on this team. They're not a good team. They're going to be a fade team all year. They're going to win tonight. It's a good spot for Washington, a bad spot for Minnesota. I do like Washington minus 125, and I almost released it to my clients. So it's probably my third favorite play.
For me, I like the team
choke?
total over
Was
for
it the
Washington.
low-hanging
Yes, I
fruit?
had to mute
You were
my
choking
microphone.
on the low-hanging fruit?
Yes, I was choking on grasping that play and just running to my computer to bet it, to tail you, Prez. Maybe Shane Pinto's been tailing us actually because he got 41 games for doing so. Hopefully he at least won his bets when he was
What did he
betting
bet
or
on? Did he
telling
bet
people
on
what
the
to bet on.
NHL?
It wasn't NHL. That's the weird thing. They apparently it would have been less of a
Christ.
suspension if it was the NHL, which is so weird. I like over 3.5 team total goals, guys, for Washington. It's plus 115. And I know the NHL works in very weird ways. You know, a team will struggle one day and the next day look great. And this Capitals team, as Carm mentioned, they have been creating chances. They just have not been able to execute. And we're talking about a Wild team that just gave up 6 goals to the Philadelphia Flyers. And in the back-to-back situations, looking at the Wild right now, they are not a strong defensive team. They do not protect their own blue line. And they aren't really that intimidating when it comes to their blue line. They're not that tough physically. They don't really keep guys to the outside. This is a game I think Washington gets up for, and you can get a plus 115 price on Washington to get to 4 goals. Just taking a look at it from a scale here, we've had plenty of teams like the Blue Jackets, Kings, Maple Leafs, so many teams get to 4 goals, and not just get to 4 goals, get to 4 goals early in the game against the Wild. So that's my play, the team total over for the Washington Capitals. Let's start with Carmine for what he has going this weekend at WagerTalk. We've got NFL, we've got college football, we've got NBA back, NHL. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Carm, the 6 in 60. Forgot about that one. All right, over to you. Then we'll go to Prez and back to myself. 6 in 60 times, 6 winners in 60 seconds. Carm, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised, Andrew, you skipped over that because you're usually in these production meetings at least 30 minutes before showtime. So I figured you would have been sharp and on the ball
fired.
there. Producer Dan, I chose violence today. Listen, guys,
meetings
because
where
these are Saturday games, there's no lines yet on the Wager Talk live lines for Saturday's games, especially with some of these teams on back-to-backs, but there are a couple books with numbers out. So I went with the best numbers that I could get. The totals are not out for Saturday. So any of the games in which I mentioned the total, it is good for 6 or 6.5, whichever the number is. So with that said, cue up that clock, Dan, and here we go. Anaheim and Philadelphia. Ducks are 5-2 to the under, and Flyers are playing some pretty good D so far. So we're going to take under 6 or 6.5, whatever that number is. Detroit and Boston. Boston off their first loss after allowing 2 in the last 2 minutes to the Ducks. Bounce back here against a Detroit team that's showing a little bit of regression. Bruins in regulation, minus 140. Islanders in Columbus. Isles 4-2 to the under, and they're looking better defensively. Under 6 or 6.5, whichever that number is. Ottawa and Pittsburgh. Speaking of the Senators, their struggles to play D continues, and it's now 3 on the bounce for them in losses where they've allowed 14 goals. Pittsburgh minus 155. Rangers in Vancouver. Rangers 3-0 on this 5-game road trip. They get a Vancouver team playing the second of a back-to-back. Give me the Rangers minus 135, and we'll finish it off with Vegas and the Kings. If Vegas doesn't lose tonight, they will lose tomorrow in LA. I'm going to take LA plus 105. The Kings are starting to perk up. That's your 6 and 60.
Whoa, there we go. Round of applause this time. This time it's a round of applause. 6 picks in 60 seconds. Great stuff, Carm.
Dan, can you queue up my 12 and 60, please?
How many plays do you have for us, Prez? Prez, what's your best bet for us for today on the show? And what do you have going this weekend?
Well, I got a big game day today, Andrew. So let's focus right there. I got my first NBA play of the year. It's up. It's a 4% best bet. My NBA last year was ridiculous. I was 93 units in the positive, 93 units. I had a 58% win percentage. I ended the year on a 14-5 run. My NBA was the best sport all of last year by far. My first play is up tonight. I have 2 NBA plays tonight, 2 NHL plays tonight. You can get them all over at WagerTalk.com. Also, make sure to watch a Wager Talk today. And the other thing, Andrew, is look, you've got the most loyal followers on the show, period. All of these guys love you. for some reason, they don't hit the like button as much as they do in Wager Talk Today. It likely is because the host of Wager Talk Today constantly asks for likes. And I heard that he happens to be on your show right now. So he's going to ask for likes on your behalf. Guys, give Andrew and Carm some freaking love. 241 of you watching live, 54 likes. We need it. We appreciate it. It is important to the YouTube algorithm. As far as I'm concerned, we are all a team. So please, I know Andrew, for some reason, doesn't want to ask you guys for likes, nor does Carm. So please hit that like button. My best bet tonight is Buffalo, New Jersey over 7. It was a pleasure doing this, boys. I freaking love hanging out with you guys on PuckTime.
Great stuff, Prez, and an even better shirt. I'll definitely be checking out the website later on today and making some purchases. So thanks for being here, Prez. We appreciate it. And best bet over 7, Buffalo, New Jersey. Carm, if you're still talking to me after forgetting about your segment, what's your best bet, man?
I'm good, Andrew. I'm just egging you on, man. Yesterday wasn't the greatest of days, and even like NHL. I went to sleep thinking I had the golden sombrero where I didn't hit one, and then I wake up and NHL.com has changed the shots on goal, and one of my plays was a winner, which actually turned out to be the show best bet yesterday as well too, with Mackenzie Weegar. So it is now 9 straight show best bets that we have hit, dating back to last Monday or Monday of last week. So let's see if we can make it 10 in a row. Before I do that, 3 plays up in NHL tonight. No soccer as of yet today, but soccer tomorrow. 4 big games I really like. There's also going to be NHL games, of course, possibly a 5% play, and NFL, all loaded at the end of the show. Access 3, the number 3, will get you $20 off a 3-day all access. So it's going to get you all the plays right through Sunday. There's going to be a ton of action. I say you take advantage of that code, and let's try and have an awesome weekend. My best bet, guys, let's go for 10 for 10. I'm taking John Carlson of the Washington Capitals over 2.5 shots, minus 130. He's gone over this total 4 of 6 games. He's part of the power play. And again, this Minnesota team isn't playing well. Lack of discipline on team, taking penalties. I think they're the 6th highest as far as penalty minutes this season thus far. So a lot of power plays against this team, and he's on the power play unit. So let's take him to go over 2.5, minus 130, and make it 10 out of 10 on the best bet segment the last 2 weeks.
Andrew, before you end the show, I'm going to make an announcement right here, right now. Look, I am one of the co-founders of Wager Talk. I have pull. And I'm going to insist that you guys do not give out your best bets at the end of the show unless you get a certain number of likes. We are a team. The audience listens to the show. It takes 1 second to hit the like button. So I will leave it to you guys. But it is crucial that we get comments, engagement, likes.
It is. All right, that's definitely doable. 100 likes for best bets. Moving forward, speaking of best bets, I'm going to go over in Vegas and Chicago, a rare game. I will look towards the over in Vegas. I do think Chicago will contribute to the scoring in this one. Just not sure if they'll win the game, so I'll just rock with the over 6. I feel like that one should be quite a good one, and it's an earlier start, guys. Don't forget about that earlier start in Vegas. I'm on a 9-2 NFL prop run, guys. Doing very well with the NFL props. I have a 4% prop play going on Sunday. NBA play going tonight. And don't miss my NHL Every Game on the Board podcast. I give out a pick on every single game for Saturday, and I always include a great promo code in that video as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please, on the way out, hit the like button. On behalf of Carmine. Sorry, Carm, go ahead.
I'm going to jump in.
This show is crazy today.
Dan,
this show is crazy today.
Dan, you're going to hate me. My producer's going to hate me. This is like twice the amount. He could have made 2 sandwiches in 40 minutes, our producer. That's a story for another day. I love the guy. But guys, drop a comment in our comment section, subscribe to the channel. This is what I'm going to do every Friday on the show when I do the 6 and 60. Drop a comment in the video at the end when it's posted on our channel. And if I hit at least 5 out of 6 in the 6 and 60, I'll grab one of the funniest comments and you guys will win a Puck Time t-shirt and I will send it out to you. So let's go. We all have a vested interest for this 6 and 60 to do well. Sorry for jumping in, Andrew. Right back to you to close it out.
You want me to close it out?
That's it for the show, guys. That's it for the show. Wager Talk today coming up in about 20 minutes. We appreciate all of you guys for being here. Best of luck. Take care, and we will see you on Monday.